Hello, family. It's me, Jacqueline, again. I'm here with another grow video to help you spiritually grow, mentally grow, physically grow in your life, in your marriage, in your relationships. With the Grow program, we deal with a lot of topics that touch us on a daily basis, and just ways to help our African American community. So I want to get right to it. The topic I want to talk on today is spirituality, and I get asked a lot of questions. Being that I am a spiritual counselor, minister, medium, wide variety, I guess, of hats that I wear, but all in honor to God. Everything I do in my life is an honor to God. So trying to bring you closer to spirituality, bring you closer to God, that's my purpose in life. And as we're on this journey, of course we have questions. Of course we want to know, why is this and why is that? Why does God allow certain things to happen? Okay, one question that I get, and we've touched on this one here: why does God allow suffering? God allows suffering because suffering builds perseverance. Perseverance, it gives you the drive to keep going. It makes you want to just keep going to do better. And perseverance builds character. Character is what helps create the person you are and who you would aspire to be, achieve to be. And finally comes hope. And through hope, we have faith, we have results, we have glory. So that's the answer to that question. Another question I get is, why did my family member commit suicide? The reason why is we are in a spiritual battle with good and evil, always have been. And we're in this spiritual battle with good and evil. And during this battle, we bring on more problems along to ourselves a lot of times. But I want to say that those who commit suicide give up the fight. They give up the battle. And if you keep fighting the battle, you will win the war. So you have to stay strong. And it's difficult to say, but it's not difficult coming from me because I've been there. I attempted suicide. I've been at death's door. I've given up and wanted to give up and wanted to give up over and over again, until the change came about in me that needed to be done, where depression is no longer an issue for me. And I'm not on medication for depression. And I've dealt with depression since I was a teenager. Depression is no longer an issue for me. My back pain is no longer an issue for me. My marriage is no longer an issue for me. Any problem in life is no longer an issue for me, because I put God in it. And how I put God in it is how I live my life and how I react to things. Through forgiveness and living in honor to God. And then the problems that I make upon myself, like my alcoholism, or a life of doing wrong, a life of lying, I stop those behaviors. And once you end those behaviors, things begin to change. Okay. Another question that I had wondered is, why are children born with severe disabilities? This is the answer that I came up with: that why children are born with severe disabilities, probably in disabilities and in impoverished lands. Disabilities, children with disabilities, they teach us something. They teach us to smile in spite of. They teach us to have compassion. They teach us love. They teach us not sympathy, but empathy. They teach us how to keep going in our darkest days. I used to work with disabled adults, and when I would pick them up to go to work, they would have the brightest smiles, and I used to think, if they can smile come to work, I know I can smile come to work, and so that's why. And you're going to learn that if you ever talk with a parent who has a child with a disability, if they could ask, could their child be born different? I believe a lot of them would say no, because I love the way that my child's character is. I love that in spite of his or her disabilities, that they're still able to laugh, they're still able to smile, they're still able to bring me joy, and I wouldn't trade that for anything. So that's why I believe that happens. Another question: why is there famine in foreign countries, like in the beautiful land of Africa, where it's really rich? That's due to politics, that's due to drought, famine, the things that the Bible says that are going to happen in our lifetime are transpiring. So that's why that's happening, and also due to politics, due to the powers that be, that allow these things to go on. Because while you have ministries that go in and help and send food aid, you actually have governments that are able to do better by their communities or their countries who don't, due to politics and conflicting forces, wars going on back and forth, the good and evil that constantly goes on. And think of another question. Why does, let me pause for a second so I can think of something. Okay, here's a good one. Why did God allow my beautiful child to die? You may have had a child who is just the light of the world, just a beautiful person, just giving, and just the beautifulest soul that you ever want to meet. Well, I'm going to tell you why God allowed that to happen. So that you can continue on that legacy of that beautiful soul, and what that legacy was doing while they were here on this earth, what their dreams and aspirations were. Because God needed that beautiful soul again for his army. So don't fret or stress, because that beautiful soul is now an ancestor. So don't stress about your beautiful child who was murdered and taken away from you. Now, as far as the people who commit these crimes, the people who do bad things on this earth, people who do bad things to children, what I believe happens to them through my meditation and my spirituality, I believe that they are tormented souls. I don't believe in an actual lake of fire or hell. It is literally but a hell of a tormented soul. So think about a soul that is never has peace, that is constantly roaming like a ghost. That's a tormented soul. That's a tormented spirit. And there are tormented spirits on this earth. There are good spirits also on this earth with us that watch over us and protect us. This is called the spiritual world, and they are watching over us right now. And there are also those those bad spirits, like I said, about like ghosts and those evil spirits that are around that you can't see. But if you have a dog or a cat or an animal, they can see it. I have an animal. I live in a house like that, and my animal detects. She knows, she barks at things and that's not there, and I know what's going on with the house anyway. So that I believe, that those souls are constantly tormented. I do believe that those souls have a chance at redemption if they are willing to redeem themselves, but they are tormented unless they redeem themselves, like I said, ask for forgiveness. I believe that as there's good and evil forces so at play here. So yes, you may have a evil person who lives a long time. You wonder why they live a long time, because it's like I said, there's good and evil at play here, and that's a tormented soul. Who's here to torment. If you notice, I don't know if you know anyone like that in your life. I pray you don't, but there is somebody that always is around just to mess with other people, just to get other people going, and aggravate folks, and never have no peace in his life, and misery loves company. That's a tormented soul, and that's what you don't want to be. You don't want to be a tormented soul. So you want to try to live your life in honor to God, even if you have committed the most heinous crime, and you don't, only you know about it. God knows, and your ancestors are watching. It's time for redemption. You can ask for forgiveness. It is not too late. Don't think you the worst of the worst, because you are not. You can ask for forgiveness. Don't let your past define you in that present moment where you are right now. Let your past build you up to be the character and the person that God aspired you to be. So, and as far as children of child abuse, why are they murdered? Children of child abuse. Okay, what I'm getting is the life that this child may have led would not have been a good life, under the circumstances that they were in, when it comes to children of child abuse, as far as at the hands of the mother and the father. And the child's soul, that's a beautiful soul that the Lord took. The Lord took their soul, just like that little boy Gabriel. That was a beautiful soul. He died at the hands of his mother and his stepfather. That was a beautiful soul. The Lord took that soul. God is going to deal with the mother and the father, but little Gabriel, he is an ancestor due to return. Souls return. It depends on how we live our life now, whether you come back or not. So that's why you have to live a life in honor. And it is not hard. It is so not hard to do. I'm telling you, I'm a living testimony. I have been doing it. You can do it too. Going to church, I was a minister. I've been in church all my life. I knew that there was something more to church when I was in church like that. It's more to it, people. It's not just going there, paying your tithes and offerings and doing your work and giving God the glory. It's more to it, because when you getting in that environment, you're in there with a bunch of other spiritually wounded people, and then next thing you know, you falling into this hypocritical status, where you in and you out, you doing this and you doing that, and you here on Sunday. Sunday's the one day that you can dedicate your life to God and give him your everything, but Saturday you in the club, and Friday you doing this, and Thursday you getting over, and Wednesday you stealing, and Tuesday you robbing and thieving, and you know what I'm saying. So what we need to do is get it right in the first place, and that's getting it right here in our hearts, getting it right with ourselves first, because and in that it's good to fellowship once you get people who are like-minded with you, because if you don't, unless you put your mind that I want to change my life, you can be around Joe the Wino, and Joe the Wino is not going to make you go back, because once you receive the happiness and the glory and the peace that I have, you're not going to want to go back. There's no amount of money, there's nothing nobody can do. I'm not going back. I'm not falling back. I got it now. I knew something was missing when I was on the radio. I knew something was missing. And what was missing was my African ancestry, as well as me using my life as a testimony to help you. using my stories, because I often wonder why I went through everything I went through in my life from the time I was 14 years old on. You know, I had two rebels in my life. And when I say rebels, they were on drugs, bad. They didn't want to change. And the one, when it got too late and he passed away, he died of liver cancer. So that's why I'm trying to help you. There is no, after the liver is gone, there is nothing else. You don't grow another liver. You can't get another liver. If you get lucky enough to get on a transplant, hopefully, prayerfully, they're not gonna give you one for drinking. They're not gonna give you you know how hard livers are to come by. They're not liver. You only get one liver. So you got to take care of it. And that's not through drinking. They put these vices in our neighborhood. If you look around in a lot of neighborhoods, in lower communities, lower class communities, impoverished communities, there's liquor stores everywhere. That attacks the liver. The liver can only take so much. You're already it's already got to filter out other toxins that's in the food and the other things that we eat and drink. So when you go and put alcohol in there on top of everything else, the liver has to work even harder to filter all that out. So just be mindful, my people, of what you put in your bodies, how you take care of yourselves, and how you live. We're in this to grow. We are in this to grow. And as I'm helping you to grow, I'm also growing. Each and every day, I'm also growing. Just like the song said, as I minister to you, I minister to myself. This helps me. And I want to talk to and help as many people as possible. The young people, especially out there gang banging. Right now they're not in school. I want to reach them. An idle mind is an enemy's workshop. You begin to think things that maybe I should go over there and do that. Or, just thinking wrong, thinking bad. So, I want to try to reach the young people. These are very turbulent times that we're living in. It's sad. It's sad. I feel sad for my daughter. I don't know what the world's going to be like, in 20 years or what. But what I do know this, us African Americans as a race are going to rise. We are going to rise, and it's going to be okay. Right now, we need to begin to work on ourselves so we can make it to God's army. I love you. Until the next video, you all take care and peace.